What up guys, Moneymaker 2.0 here. We are back with another review. Today we're reviewing Erma. Now. Remember, we ended last one. We ended the last one with the grandfather clapping his hands like, oh, the sweet destruction, the sweet pain, the terrifying fear. Oh, if only they could have lasted longer. And we saw the red moon, right? We saw a red moon. That was supposed to happen or not, right? We saw sort of the red moon, right? Well, we're now gonna get to see what's the aftermath of this and whatnot. We're gonna see. Now, remember how I asked last week, what does the rest of the world think about this? Because you think about it, if the moon turns red, everyone around the world had to have noticed this or something. And so, yeah, we're about to see we're about to see what's going on here, what happens in the aftermath of this, and yeah, we're on to a new arc. So, I haven't decided yet on what the finalized thumbnail will be for this video. So when you see this video, it'll probably be the old thumbnail. Unless I've decided on a newer thumbnail, like a new design for Erma, since this is post traumatic event. I may change up to have Erma be something different in the thumbnail than what it was, like I did when she went evil and I had the evil Erma thumbnails for a while. Haven't decided yet, but we'll probably keep it the same until I see a part where Erma has drastically changed or has been affected by it. And well, of course we know she's gonna be affected by it, like a lot. Like, I mean, who wouldn't be all of a sudden scared of what they did once they come to learn about what they did and what they did to people? Like, who wouldn't be scared of themselves? But until I notice that I could change or feel it, I'm not gonna really change the thumbnail. But yeah, that's about it. So let's get into it. We got the new arc that is titled. We have the new one that is titled Reunion's End. It's called Reunion's End Part 1. So let's get into this. Okay, here we go. So apparently all that destruction that happened here, like all of this destruction, apparently happened in this area. So like if we're looking at overhead, like all this destruction happened here and nowhere else over here. So literally this section was like taken out or whatnot, and probably that some of the towns or whatnot were also taken over. But like this part's like the epicenter, like where all the damage happened. And we're gonna see. We come to you live with an update on the events that transpired. Last night, unexpected civilians woke up to mass hysteria during the sudden formation of a blood moon. It happened in the middle of the night. Everyone had been operating like normal, and then everything went dark. Oh, world is going cuckoo. From Tokyo to Sendai, to even the smallest farm towns, Japan seems to have suffered a nationwide blackout, including ground transportation. It wasn't until 3 hours later when the moon reverted to normal and all of the power came back on. But enough damage had been done, leaving citizens scared, confused, and asking many questions. The main question being, what happened? Well, we just heard that apparently Erma was in this state of pissed off red moon state for 3 hours. So for 3 hours, Erma was in that pissed off, scared off, before they could calm her down state. So we now have a timeline that Erma was terrifying the town. Erma was terrifying people for 3 hours. From the time the moon turned red, she's been at it for 3 hours. 3 hours, to say the least. Now that's crazy. That's crazy that 3 hours. The blood moon lasts for 3 hours, which would equal the amount of time that it took for Erma to calm down. So literally for 3 hours, it was a blood moon. And it was an unexpected formation of a blood moon. The blood moon wasn't supposed to happen. So that leads me to believe that she's really a super being that could end the world. Like, she literally brought on a blood moon, literally took out a blackout of a whole country. She literally blacked out. She literally blacked out a whole country. At her age, she literally blacked out suffered a blackout. She literally blacked out the whole entire country of power everywhere. No technology was being able to be used. It was all crashed. Erma was capable of doing that on one nation. For one nation, Japan. Now imagine if she did that in America. Imagine if you pissed her off and it was in America or Russia or something and she made it Red Moon. Imagine the reach. Because let's say that it was in this town, right? So it shouldn't have affected like the whole of Japan, but somehow it affected all of Japan. So if we say that's the limit of her powers, that it only affected Japan only, then what's to say that that same effect wouldn't be applied to a country? Because it could be that this, when she activates her powers and whatnot, and the Blood Moon appears, it takes out all the power from a country. Like, it's country-based, it could be. But then again, that'd be weird for it to be just be a nation-based, like, nation-country-based, like, oh yeah, if she's in America, then all of America goes dark. Or if she's in Canada, all of Canada goes dark. Or if she's in Russia, all of Russia goes dark. Or if she's in China, all of China goes dark. Like, we don't know the full capabilities of what happens here. We only know, based upon the range of Japan, it seems to be the only one affected by it. So we could possibly say that her range only extends to Japan. Like, to one country, or one area, or one continent, or something like that. It reaches until it crosses water, which, technically, if they're saying it's nationwide, then that means it reached the other islands that are Japan, that are part of Japan. It reached those other islands. Which means that it can travel overseas, her power. Which means that it could be nation-based. Now, that would be funky and crazy. Like, how would she know? Like, of course she knows geography probably from being taught that since she goes to school and whatnot. But, like, how would the powers only affect what one country has, or one country? Like, if we think about it, that doesn't seem to make sense. But then again, how does it make sense that somehow her making a blood moon starting up here, and her just being in this town, just somehow affects the whole entire nation to make him a blackout? Like, literally? How? So that begs the question of whether or not, if she's in another country, does her power only extend to one country? And if so, what are we to do about it? And maybe it's not even a country or a nation. Maybe it's a literal landmass. Like, maybe there's a range between each island that it has to be, like, between the main epicenter and where the islands are. So, like, if that's the case, then that means it could reach from America. If it happens in America, it could reach Canada, all the way down to South America. Well, not really, but I haven't really reviewed my geography recently, so I don't know what if we are actually connected to, if we're actually connected to Africa in some way, like the Africa, South Africa, and North America are actually connected. I don't think we are, because that's why we're separate, maybe. But if we are connected, then that would mean literally the whole Eastern Hemisphere would be dark. Literally the whole Eastern Hemisphere, the Western Hemisphere, you should say, because people call it the West. The whole Western Hemisphere would be dark. Literally, if she did anything in the Western Hemisphere, the whole entire Western Hemisphere would be dark. And if we say that America, North America, and South America are separated by something, an island or something, then technically, if that range of island between Japan, like Japan's islands that somehow got affected too, then that would mean that North America and South America would be affected, because even if there's like a gap, it's probably about the same gap as one of Japan's islands to Japan's mainland. So if that is the case, then we're really oh my god, we are really in trouble. Because if she actually does that happen, then she can take out the whole entire Western Hemisphere. And imagine if she was on Asia, the continent Asia. Imagine if she was there. She would affect everyone in the East. Literally everyone. She would affect everyone except Japan. Pretty much. And the Philippines and Australia. Like, she would literally affect everyone in that East. Like Russia, China, India, Vietnam, Egypt. Yeah, it would even affect Egypt too because of the close connections, and Syria and Iran and Mongolia and Turkey and Germany and England and or the UK and Spain and Italy and Czechoslovakia, whatever, and Netherlands, Sweden. Like it would affect the whole entire like that. Imagine if this is just strictly based on land. Literally, her power covers from land and to oceans, or certain range on the ocean. So imagine if she does happen this, which is why it does make sense that she could technically end the world. Because if you think about it, if she's in the West, she could cripple everything electronic, just like she did in Japan. And if she's in the East, she could cripple everything in the East. Literally, the whole entire Eastern Hemisphere would be dark. Literally, that whole entire hemisphere would be dark because of Erma. Literally, because of Erma, that whole entire hemisphere would be dark. If what we're saying is that it affects everything that's the mainland, everything that's connected to land, and then the range of some distance on the ocean. If that is the case, oh my god, it is gonna be. That's gonna be dangerous, man. That's why that Invisible Man was like, we'll meet again, darling, and you'll be ending the world. Yeah, well, Erma won't be ending the world, okay? I still believe she has her friends, which will keep her from going to the dark side and keep her from going dark. Like, yes, she'll have to live with this trauma of, yes, she'll have to live with the fact that she has this power that can really hurt people, and she probably will be scared of herself somewhat. But I feel like her friends and whatnot will attempt to reassure her, will help her through this, will help her, will get her through this, will make her happy. And when this happens, she will be better off, and there will be nothing that would make her, the only thing that would make her go ballistic is if you hurt her friends. Only reason she went ballistic this time was because people she thought she wanted to make friends with helped torture her somewhat and shoved her into a tree, and she was scared out of her mind in there. She couldn't move, she couldn't get free, anything, so she had to release her ultimate power that she didn't even know she had. Now, imagine that, but her friends all get killed, or all get tortured, or the grandfather literally kidnaps her friends and tortures them in some way. Imagine, Erma would become that destruction that would end the world, I feel like. But I hope it doesn't get that dark. We have gotten it dark at this point, with the psychological damage to the kids and whatnot. But I hope that's what it's gonna be, and it's not gonna get too dark to where we're kidnapping kids and torturing kids and whatnot. But that is a possibility that could happen with the way that it's gone dark here, with Erma actually being kidnapped and then thrown into a tree of humans that someone did bring up that that's probably the village that all the yokai all the yokai killed and shoved into that tree because they took over that town or whatnot. So yes, that is gonna be interesting. But let's continue. I know I went on a ramble for a bit, but let's continue. For starters, the blood moon formed 10 years before the next lunar eclipse. Look at this. The parents are like, oh, what's up? Chloe's there. The principal, who's blind, is like, oh, I'm hearing about this. Other yokai. Oh, the friend. Oh, the bully. I forget his name, man. It's been so long. And he's like, interesting. Leaving astronomers puzzled to how such a thing can occur. Euronational. Oh, the rest. Erma's friends and enemies, or Erma's friends and people that are debatable are now, we're seeing their thing looking. Yup. Connor, you got this! Japan seems to also be the only nation to suffer a blackout during the time span of the blood moon. Yes, which is where my theory comes in and plays, in the fact that if Look at this. They're like, oh, all the government. Look at that. It's government agents. Like, oh, yes. We're Area 51. Yes. We got supernatural beings talking here. We got supernatural beings. Yes. We gotta make a move. We gotta do something, boys. We gotta do something. Oh no, not the friend. Which means, I bet you 100% that Erma probably did this to the sister. To Connor's sisters or whatnot, to Connor's sister or her old babysitter. She scared her. Most likely, in some way, their sister tortured Erma or did something to Erma, and that's why she's like scared or traumatized and scared of Erma in some way, or interested in finding out what she is. Because she experienced something with Erma, and I'm assuming that's probably what happened with the kids. She probably experienced something similar to what the kids experienced, and that's why she's all about finding out what Erma is truly and what she is or whatnot, like investigating her. And that's why she was in the psych ward or whatnot, because people thought she was crazy. That is my belief. All the rap people and United Monster News causing theories to spiral that perhaps the two events have some sort of connection. Yes, the events do have a connection, and it's connected to Erma. Now, the interesting part is this. Look, the guy that looks like, I don't know if he's Jesus or not, but look at this. There's some guy here in the universe of Erma that's literally standing in space above the Earth, looking down at it. Yet this doesn't seem possible. There's no sensible or clear scientific explanation behind this phenomena. Look at this. This guy that you could call God. This guy that you could technically probably call God. You could probably call him God or some supernatural being, like maybe Superman, some form of Superman, and whatnot. He's up there in space, looking down on the world, like. So we get introduced some being that's like God. Like, yes, we've already been introduced through the Erma universe through like tiny little jokes or spin-offs or whatnot. That Erma universe is connected to all these monsters, all these supernatural beings. Like, anything supernatural is pretty much exists in this world, as we can assume right now, because we're seeing Dracula, who's like, what's going on? This whole seems too supernatural to be true. But I was like, oh, really? And there's it surely it all was coincidence, right? And there's what's that place that's like everyone theorizes that's like where Area 51 is or whatnot, Roswell or whatnot, the Roswell, like that looks like a Roswell. But I still can't get over the fact we just got exposed to the fact that some being that's either God or Superman exists in this world. Like we already knew like yokai existed and supernatural beings existed, but like I didn't think there was an actual God that existed in this world. But apparently there is. Like I had my doubts somewhat, but like it wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility. But I still couldn't believe that we get introduced to a God. We literally get introduced to a character that looks like God. That looks like, well, I don't really know if he's Jesus or whatnot. Like looks like Jesus because I don't see his rest of his face, but I see his beard. So you could claim that he is Jesus or something. And he's like standing above the world, looking down at it. Like, if we're saying that there's some being like that that's observing the planet that nobody knows about, but that is pretty much God, that you could say is God for many religions, and he's just observing this and he didn't do anything to stop it, but he's observing it, or you could say that he's from a different planet that came to investigate because he felt something weird and strange. We're about to see, but I feel like he might be related to someone. I feel like we might have seen him before. I feel like this guy we might have seen before somewhere in Erma, but I'm not sure where. But I have a tiny little hunch that he's probably someone that we've met in the Erma universe, because so far everyone here is someone, except for the news outlets, is someone that we've met, or that Erma has met, or someone that we've interacted with in some way. Yes, these government agents are from probably Spirits Bloom, or from like the detective side story, or like whatnot from Tales of the Outcast, but like, or specials that they've had, like Men in Black, like they did a Men in Black Halloween, Ermaween theme, so that could be like referencing Men in Black maybe. But like, we literally have some being that's like fucking God here, just sitting, staring. I know I've been rambling on about this, but like, I believe 100% that the guy that we see standing here is probably not a new character, and he's probably someone that we've met in one of the early Erma chapters, but I don't know, but I feel like he is. And if someone does find out about it, or someone spends time looking back and checking it, well, I won't, because that's just too much work to go back and read every single chapter again just to find the guy and compare. But I could, but I'm not. Someone else can if they want to see if my theory is right or whatnot. But he is 100%. Probably, we've seen him before. In some fashion. We've seen him before in some fashion, probably. And oh boy. Look at this, it's all over the... Yo, check it out! Blood moon rises over during blackout! La luna de sangre el falsa no es real. It's not real, it's totally the government, man. It's government, man. Government conspiracy, man. You know, it's not real. You know, the government put up like a big, the government somehow made like a blood moon appear. The government did this. The government has some sort of weapon or something to make the moon turn red when they wanted to. It's some government conspiracy, you know. They totally have that technology. Yeah, it's Japan. It's a blood moon. Where is that? Japan. It's a blood moon. Did you watch the Austin show? It was about 15. What happened? Oh, I think the world is coming to an end. Boy, you have no idea. You have no idea what's going on here. That is a true possibility. The Invisible Man has stated that the world could be coming to an end. I can't translate all of these because I don't know what they all mean, but I'm assuming they similarly mean the same thing of like, oh, what's going on? Where is this? What's happening? This is supposed to happen. Did you see the blood moon? Oh my god. The U.S. forces need to go and investigate this. Oh yeah, how are they supposed to investigate the blood moon? What are they supposed to do? They're supposed to go into Japan and be like, hey Japan, did you purposely black out your country and turn the moon red? How are you supposed to investigate this? Like, what are you supposed to do? How do you investigate this? Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, somehow the Japanese government made the moon turn red and made their own blackout? Really? Nah, brah, that's... They foretold us in the Bible. It's the end of us all. It probably is in the Bible, you know? It is probably in the Bible. Who knows? This is probably in the Bible. I've read the Bible before, but I don't remember it that well. So, who knows? Who knows? I don't. But, so who knows? It could be. Could be, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. The Twilight Cafe. There's that detective. I know you're up there. Oh, who you talk? Oh. Does he know? Does he know? Does he know that this guy, does he know this guy? Or is he talking about, oh, he might be. This guy might know who. This guy might be a friend of his. He might be a friend of his. So it might be a superhero maybe. But we won't know until further, but I'm pretty sure if we look back, we'll probably see him somewheres. Maybe. But we'll have to wait and see. Look at the doctor. The detective's like, kid, what did you do? He's just sipping tea like, kid, what did you do now? Like he's like, man, kid, why'd you have to go and do this? Hey, it's not the kid's fault, okay? It's everyone else's fault. So it's the environment. It's going to meet her family that caused this, okay? It's not her fault, okay? It's not her fault. She literally did nothing. She should not feel the blame for what happened. Yes, she should feel the blame for for doing what she did, but that wasn't entirely her fault. She should not, literally, I'm hoping she does not feel, and people can tell her that it is not your fault. It is your fault what happened, but what led up to it is not your fault. It is not. It is your fault, but at the same time, it is her fault. But then again, this wouldn't have happened if nothing would have happened in the first place. Like, literally, it's a dilemma of, oh, this kid should be in trouble. This kid should feel bad about what's happened. But then you're like, the kid did this because of their environment or whatnot. And it's like similar to like killers or whatnot, or mental health problems and everything else. Like, do you really blame the person for the mental health problems, or do you blame their environment they grew up in for their problems? Like, what do you do? What do you choose? Do you choose to blame the person that has mental health problems as like, it's your fault, everything you did is your fault? They have mental health problems, so yes, it's their fault, but like, why do we care if they have mental health problems then if we're saying that what they did is their fault? And we're saying, oh, they did this because of their mental health problems. Then shouldn't they not feel as bad for their actions if it's their mental health problem? I'm just saying here. I'm just thinking here, like, what we're doing is pretty contradictory to what we should be doing, because we're saying, oh yeah, this person did this because of mental health. We should fix mental health problems. Well, if we're saying that people should blame themselves for the mental health problems, and that the reason you're in this is because of your mental health problems, so it's your fault, which is essentially true, because they did their actions, as people would say, they chose to do this, it's their actions, they're in their mind, whatever, they chose to do this, whatnot. Yeah, but it was the mental health problems that caused this. So if we fix the mental health problem, then the future people won't be like this, won't do this choice, or won't have this happen. So pretty much we're saying, hey, everyone get mental health problems, but then everyone that comes after you won't have them, pretty much. Is pretty much the stance that I see it as, is like, hey, it's your fault, but we'll fix the next generation of kids to not have the problem and do what you did. That's pretty much what we're gonna do. That's pretty much what it boils down to, in my opinion, is, hey, it's your fault, you pay the consequences, but hey, guess what? You have helped spread awareness and mental health problems, and you've helped us know that we need to change, for then we don't have this happen again. Yeah, so I guess you could say acting out on your mental health problems or whatnot wears awareness to mental health and helps get it fixed, because people, if you have enough mental health problems that go on and cause enough problems, people will want to fix it, because they'll be like, oh, mental health causes these problems, let's fix mental health. If we fix mental health, then we'll avoid all these problems or whatnot. Might as well do that. But I know I'm rambling on, and this is only the first one, which I probably should have covered. I probably should do only one chapter, which I guess I will do. So, yeah, this is going to be only a one-chapter event. So this is only going to be one chapter, because I've rambled for long enough. It's already like 28-minute video already. Like, if you stayed for the full 26 minutes that I've been rambling on right now or whatnot to get to the end, or you skip to the end, thanks for watching. I'm gonna come out with a new one next week that's gonna be covering one chapter again, because that one also is gonna be sort of long, but we're already past the limit, almost 30 minutes, so I'm gonna end it here, which is where I should have ended. So if you stayed long enough to listen to my rambling, listen to my discussions, listen to all my theories and whatnot, thank you. And next week, expect another Erma. It won't be an Umi video, because Umi hasn't updated at the time of recording this, so it will be another Erma episode. It will be the new Erma chapter, and then after that, we will go back to doing the 2 chapters again. And yeah, so remember to like, comment, subscribe, support the author, check out the links down below, and remember, I stream live on Twitch like anytime, any day of the week, except for Mondays and Thursdays, and then sometimes I don't stream on Wednesdays or Tuesdays. It's really, my schedule is really, I stream on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are guaranteed times to catch me streaming, and those times would usually be between 9, or for Saturday, Sundays, it'd be like 9, 10 till 2, 4 o'clock for Saturday, Sunday, and then Friday is like 7, 8 till 11, 10. And then the rest of the weekdays are like 8, 7. Tuesday, Wednesday are like 8 or 7, or maybe 6 or 5 till like 9, 10. So yeah, that's what's up. So I hope you enjoyed, and as usual, I hope you have
a wonderful evening today.